So Messi just 2 games away from winning the only trophy to elude him, the World Cup. Many regard him as the best player of all time. Does he need to win that World Cup to secure the title? Chris was saying in the last hour, absolutely not. He's regarded as that anyway. But Danny, when you think about Messi's first Ballon d'Or was in 2009. He's won it 7 times. How do you dominate the game for that long?
He's a freak. Simple as that. I mean, the ability that he has, and this is what I talk about. There are, take the numbers out of it. You know, the numbers between Messi and Ronaldo are very, very similar. The original Ronaldo, I think, is up there with Messi in terms of they both do things that other players can't do. But I've not seen anybody do what Messi does. Some of the passes that he makes, some of the dribbles that he does, the way that he thinks about the way that he must see the game is almost different to everybody else on the planet. That pass that he made the other night, to even see that pass, let alone execute it in that way with pure precision, to thread it through the eye of a needle, and then another eye of a needle, and then another one with the perfect
and then another
weight.
one.
Yeah, with the perfect weight on it. Even to see that, not let alone to try it, is exceptional. Some of the goals, the way that he dribbles with the ball, I've not seen a player do that ever before. And again, I didn't see enough of Maradona live. I didn't see enough of Pelé live to compare him to those. So I'm talking about of my generation. Messi is, for me, easily the greatest individual that I've seen.
Chris, Pelé and Maradona, they didn't win the Ballon d'Or because it was only European players until 1995, so that's a little bit different. Now, the French football, they did a re-evaluation, said that Pelé would have won it 7 times, Maradona would have won it twice. I mean, so that's the kind of re-evaluated one. It's strange that Maradona there with just the 2, but Pelé up there with Messi. Would you argue that they are quite rightly considered to be the best 2 ever? Because I know Cristiano Ronaldo would have something to say about that, and certainly Maradona too.
Tom, I'll be honest, that just does nothing for me, because in terms of re-evaluating it, you can make whatever you want to make of it. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's you'll deal in black and white and facts. There is no doubt what Pelé done for Brazil, the 50s, 60s, unbelievable for his career. Maradona for what he done as well. Obviously Argentina, and then went to Napoli, and was the first Scudetto.
You can even throw, if you're going to go back that and re-evaluate it, you could throw George Best into that.
Well, actually,
look at the sort of player that he was.
Yeah.
You look at Messi and Ronaldo as well. Like what they have. They've taken the game to individual heights to a new level. And you look at the players who are there, Platini, Cruyff, Van Basten, obviously Maradona's there as well. But you look at, and even like Ronaldo, the Brazilian one, Zidane, like people they were unbelievable football players, but they're just never going to be spoken about in that level because of what Lionel Messi and Cristiano. It's the longevity of what they've done.
When you go back to some of those players, Maradona, Van Basten, Cruyff, Platini, there were a lot more great players at the top level in and around at that point. When you think of some of the great teams. And you just mentioned, Zidane. Look at the French team, Zidane, Henry, all those sort of players that were around. It was much, much harder for them to be the standout. Ruud Gullit, surprised he's not. If Van Basten's in there, Gullit's not in there. There were some incredible players, at those times.
I think it's just because of what Messi and Ronaldo have. I mean, there is still incredible players. I mean, you look at Xavi, Iniesta, Luka Modric. These guys are unbelievable football players, and would rightly, could easily have won a Ballon d'Or if these 2 weren't around. As Danny said, Lionel Messi is a freak, and you've got to say so is Cristiano Ronaldo for what he has done for football. I think Messi was born with a gift. And you look at Ronaldo has worked for every single thing he's got. There's obviously a talent in there as well, no doubt. But you look at the 2 of them, and they've took football to a new level. And as I said, you feel sorry for the other ones, well, you don't feel sorry for them because they're unbelievable players, but they're not mentioned in the same bracket because of these 2.
Zidane doesn't even get a mention.
Well, France football, by the way, I had Mills and Boyd with 1 each. But
one
that's when you know it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah. What a croissant each we get from French football.
One argument about you've got to have won the World Cup to be like the greatest and world class and everything like that. I was going to use the example there of George Best. It would be very difficult for George Best to win the World Cup.
Eusebio?
Yeah, but Portugal, Northern Ireland. You see what I mean? Eusebio probably would have had a better chance, even though Northern Ireland very good.
But you
nation.
need a team around you, and that's the whole point of it. Even Maradona still had good players around him. You know, people got to admit he won World Cups on his own, and there were some magnificent performances that he put on.
Mario Kempes and people as well. People forget, like, even before him, they were unbelievable football players. But again, Maradona was that standout player in that team.
Franz Beckenbauer, Lothar Matthäus.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? When you're going back and look at that list, there were some exceptional players, at that time that just.
I can't buy into it.
The Ballon d'Or, I think, was if it had existed, it would have been real contested. It's just for the last 15, 20 years, it's basically been Messi, Ronaldo, and then Modric was thrown in.
But if you look
until they almost retired, and obviously.
If you look at it right now, if we speak about in terms of the next generation that's coming through, Mbappe's obviously on the world stage, but Haaland, what we're going to just discard him because there's absolutely no chance Norway are going to win a World Cup.
Yeah.
So you can't, if he continues at this rate in 10 years' time, well, he wasn't a great because Norway didn't win the World Cup. It doesn't work like that. I think you've got to look at the overall package, and there is no doubt that I don't think you need to win the World Cup to be regarded as the greatest, no matter what.